Hello and welcome to your 6th tutorial on JavaScript. Today we'll mainly talk about a date function and some other things which are on the topic of dates and times, etc. Let's go ahead and get started, and what we're going to do is we're going to add in a variable, and let's add in the keyword which will be d, and let's go ahead and type in new date just like this. And what I'm going to do, just to get it displayed, I'm going to type in document write, and we want it to be displayed by the variable d, so just type in d right here, and if I go ahead and save refresh, I will get the time right now. So as you see, I have the day, so Saturday, January 27th 2018, and I have my time. I have my time zone as well, in which I'm in right now. And we can easily go ahead and change the format by making a new variable, and let's do it right here. So variable t, for example, which is going to equal d dot to time and string. So this should only show the time area. And in document write, let's go ahead and change document write t, and if I save and refresh, I will only get my time. So it is 10:09 GMT in my time zone, etc. Let's go ahead and talk about some other JavaScript feature. And so what we're going to do is I'm just going to comment on, let's duplicate it and let's comment on the first one just so we have it in the file. And I'm going to change to time string to date string, and in my document write I'm going to write t, and now if I save refresh, I will only get the date. It's time to show you another feature, and which is going to be to locale date string. And if I go ahead and save and refresh, I'm going to get my date shown with forward slashes. We can also change it with locale time string just like this. Save and refresh, I'll get my time in a different format. And let's go ahead and move on. Now let's go ahead and comment on this as well, and let's go ahead and add some space right here just so we have space to work in. And if I change this back to d, I will get my time and date and everything right here, which is actually correct. And let's give our d variable set minutes, which is self-explanatory, and let's say 17, so the minutes should say 17. And if I go ahead and save refresh, you see that the minutes turn to 17. However, it is 10:14 right now, and so I can do this same thing with, let's say, seconds. So I can change this to seconds. Look careful right here, and as you see, it just changed to 17 seconds. And I can do the same thing with hours as well, which is set hours. And if I save refresh, I'm going to get my time, which will be 5:14, which is set by me and not in reality. And to move on, let's just go ahead and comment on this function, and just like this we bring it here. And let's go ahead and open to local time string, and if I change this to a t, and if I save and refresh, you'll see that I will get my time. And if you see, it doesn't actually move, it just stays at the exact time that I refreshed my page. So if I refresh it again, you see that it changed, as that's the time that I refreshed it. And so if we want the time to change live, what we do is go into our code. We're going to make a function, and let's name it f1 like this, and let's bring the closing bracket right here, and let's bring our document write inside a function like this. And what we're going to do is we're going to write something called a SetInterval, which we will write outside of function. So go ahead and type in SetInterval, and inside of its brackets we're going to actually make a function. And so SetInterval basically works at specified intervals. It's self-explanatory. And so inside of the brackets, let's go ahead and type in function brackets, and then open your curly braces. Inside I'm going to write f1, so we're calling f1, and we can write a number like 3000, which is actually 3000 milliseconds. And if I go ahead and save refresh. And so if we wait 3 seconds, as you see right now, I just got the time, and then 3 seconds later I'm gonna get the time as well, and it just moves up by 3 seconds, as you see, which is basically the 3000 milliseconds. However, we see that they just have a problem. It's very obvious, and the times pop up right next to each other, and it just looks really weird. And so to get rid of this and to solve this problem, what we're going to do is we're going to create a div with the ID C1, and in our function we're going to write a document get element by ID, just like this, and it's going to be our div, which is C1, and I'm going to write a dot inner HTML. Let me make it a little bit smaller. And when I write dot inner HTML, I'm going to write my variable, which is t. And so let's get rid of this document, right? Let's put it right here. And now if I save and refresh, we will see that every second the seconds actually change. So the time is on a live count right now, and if you see, we solved our problem, and it works by 1 second, so 1000 milliseconds. And so to continue, what we're going to do is we're going to change back to 3000 milliseconds, and instead of calling a function, let's go ahead and just make a alert. So what I'm going to write is function, and I'm going to open my curly braces. I forgot about the F1, just like this. And inside of the curly braces, I'm going to type in alert, and let's just write test. And we can comment on our function like this. And if I save, refresh, every 3 seconds. And so if we've commented on this, let's go ahead and get rid of our F1. So as we see right here, my code will still work perfectly fine without a name, so F1. And we can easily just type in a function without an argument, so empty, and our alert. And now if I go ahead and save, refresh, and let me just go ahead and comment on all of this code, which is going to be this area. And if I save, refresh, you will see that we will get a alert every 3 seconds, so just like this, and it works every 3 seconds that we close it. So if I close it and if we wait another 3 seconds, we'll also get another alert. And if we only want it to be shown once, what we're going to do is we're going to comment on this code. So let's just duplicate it first, and let's go ahead and comment on it like this. And we're going to change SetInterval to something else, which is going to be timeout. And if I go ahead and save, refresh, my alert will only work once, just like this, and it won't just keep coming back up. And so when we're using SetInterval, the alert comes 3 times. However, if we're using SetTimout, we only get it once, 3 seconds later after we refresh. And so let's go ahead and comment on this code as well. And so to continue, let's go ahead and type in a variable, which we will call P1. And what I'm going to write inside is something like hello, how are you? And then I'm going to make another variable, which will be the results, which is going to equal something new, which is going to be P1, so our variable, and split, which basically, just like its actual meaning, splits things. And we need to give it a value inside of the brackets, and I'll just add in a space right here, so we'll just have a space. And to get it displayed, I'm going to type in document get element by ID, which will be our C1 div, and I'm going to type in dots inner HTML, which will equal result, so the variable result, like this. And if I go ahead and save, and if I refresh, you see that we get our text. However, if we look at it carefully, we see that they don't have spaces, they have commas between them. So the split in actuality really did split the sentence. So basically split splits the text inside a variable P1. And we can also use an array for this. So instead of just leaving it like this, we can add in, let's say, our 0 value. And if I save this and refresh, I'm just going to get hello. So the starting value of hello, how are you is hello. So it starts from a 0. This is my 1, this is 2, and this is 3. So we have 4 values, however they do start from 0. So my 1 is going to be how, which is, if we see here, the second word. And so this right here is the argument of split, and it is currently empty. If we write a letter or something in here, that's what we will see in our web page. And I can show you that right now if I use 2, which should be R, just like this. And what we can also do in split, instead of this space, I can write a letter like E, and if I write this, we'll only get on our web page from hello the H. And if I save this and refresh, however we're put on 2, let's change it to 0, and if I save and refresh, I'm just going to get the letter H, as the next letter is an E. And so as you see, the E letters just don't show up, and it sort of blocks the sentence, if that makes sense. And so let's continue. Go ahead and comment on this code. Go ahead and create a function with the F2 function, and what we're going to do is we're going to create a button with the onClick, which is going to equal our F2 function, and we can write click me like this, and go ahead and close your button. Save, refresh, we get our button. And inside of our F2 function, let's go ahead and type in location.reload like this, and if I save this and I refresh, and if I click on my button, you see that my page actually refreshes through the click of the button. And so just so you see it better, let's go ahead and add in text to div, and if I save it in Notepad, it won't automatically show up. Refresh the page. If I click on this, it will work. However, if I also click on this, we will also get our div text. So as you see, we get our div text right here just by clicking the button to refresh. Let's go ahead and comment on this, and what we're going to do next is we're going to type in something different, which is window.location.sign, and what we're going to do is we're going to type in a URL right here, whatever you'd like. I'm going to type in google.com, and if I save and refresh, and if I click on my button, I will be redirected to Google. Let's go ahead and move on. Comment on your code, and let's create some variables. So variable x with no value, and let's make a variable d, which will have a new date dot a get date, and to get it displayed, let's copy this, paste, and in the HTML we'll write d to get it displayed through the variable d. And if I save this, and if I refresh, and if I click on the number, I'm going to get a number 6. You might be asking why I'm getting a number 6. Well, that's because today is a Saturday, which is the 6th day of the week. And we got that using getDay, so which day it is. And we can use the if statement to check if the d variable saves the number. So what I can do is I can type in my if statement. So what we write in the statement if is a d equals 6, which is the Saturday. So let's go ahead and open its curly braces, and let me just position these right like this. And what we're going to write in the if statement is document get element by id, copy and paste. And what I'm going to write is something like today is Saturday, which today actually is. And if I go ahead and save, refresh, I'm going to get today is Saturday. And so to avoid using if statements too much, what we can do is we can use something else. So go ahead and delete the if statements. You can close its curly braces as well. So instead of if, I'm going to write something called switch, which is a operator in JavaScript, and I'm going to write a d right here. And so basically switch is used to perform different actions on different conditions. So if I write my switch, I'm going to open and close its curly braces, and let's move that down here. And after switch, what I'm going to write is a case. So case 0, so the first case, or the 0, so basically the first case. So if the variable d is a 0, the code will say this. So today is Sunday, as that is the 0 value. and then we're going to add in a break. So this is just a break, it's actually the same meaning, and when I write break I'm going to write case 1, and after case 1 what I'm going to write is the same exact thing, copy and paste. However, this will be Monday, so if the variable d value is 1, we'll get today is Monday, and then we're going to insert a break right here as well, and I can just go ahead and copy this for our case 2, I believe, which is Tuesday, and let's just do one for all of them. So a break, copy, paste. So after putting break, other cases after it won't be checked. And this is 3, which is a Wednesday, paste it down here. This is going to be 4, which is Thursday, and we're going to paste it here as well. 5, Friday, and lastly case 6, which is Saturday. And take note of your ending curly brackets. So this one is for function, and this one is for our switch. However, they need to be flipped the other way around, like this. And so if I go ahead and save, and if I refresh, if I click on my button, I'm going to get today is Saturday, as today is Saturday. It might be a different day for you, I don't know when you're watching this, and if it was Sunday for you, it would say Sunday here, etc, and so on. And so yeah, that was all that I had prepared for today. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.